Established in the early 1890s, the town of Inaminka developed around a small hotel that quenched the thirst of drovers bringing cattle down the dusty Strzelecki track. This tiny settlement is just over 1,000 k's northeast of Adelaide and is surrounded by desert. How extreme does the weather get here?
Well, summertime, 62 degrees, wintertime, nighttime, -2.
Des and his partner Ali run the Inaminka Hotel, providing all who stop by with a warm welcome, a cold beer and great food in one of the most remote tourist regions on Earth. A task that's not always easy given the location. What are the downsides of running a pub in Inaminka?
Unpredictability. You know, everything could be rolling along, you just think it's just working out fine, generator breaks down or cooler breaks down and you've got no one to call, so you have to make do with what you've got.
You've got to turn your hand to a lot of different things, have a go at a lot of different things because just trying to get someone here is so expensive.
In a town with only 14 locals and thousands of tourists passing through each year, they both understand the important role their pub plays. What is it that's remarkable about Outback Australian pubs?
Just the hospitality, the generosity, the easygoingness, you know, the preparation just to go that little bit further to make someone's day.
With the Strzelecki Desert to the south, Sturt Stony Desert to the northwest and the sprawling Channel Country to the northeast, the Inaminka Hotel's like an oasis for the weary and thirsty traveller. And as you can see, the hotel's almost your quintessential Australian outback pub right in the middle of the desert. A desert that claimed the lives of a couple of blokes named Burke and Wills not far from here in 1861. Now, you might be surprised to find a couple of these resting next to the pub. And you'll certainly be surprised by the invitation to spend a lazy afternoon floating down the river.
Okay folks, welcome aboard the Cooper Discoverer. I'm Peter Ware. We're going to give you a 2-hour cruise downstream on what is known as Cooper's Creek. Cooper's Creek was discovered by Captain Charles Sturt in 1845. When Captain Charles Sturt came through this region and came upon this watercourse, at that particular time he found it to have virtually no flow whatsoever and no current to speak of. So because of that fact, he decided to call it a creek. Anybody that knows this creek knows it can be far from a creek a lot of the time, and it can in fact come down in quite a huge raging river when it comes down in a very large flood on occasions. It looked like a lot of those smaller...
Peter has been running Cooper Discoverer cruises between April and September for the past 10 years. His leisurely creek cruise gives people a close-up and amazing look at some spectacular bird life and scenery. What's the general reaction from tourists who drive in pretty much out of the desert to discover you can take a river cruise in Inaminka?
Yeah, well, a lot of them are very surprised, and they're even more surprised once they actually come and do the cruise. It's sort of one of the best ways to actually see and appreciate what is here.
Cruising down the creek in the middle of nowhere is made just that little bit better with the aid of a cold beer. And it's become a tradition for those who make the pilgrimage to have a Cooper's on the Cooper. When your last name is Cooper, you have the ability to take that one step further. Can't let a bloke drink alone. And Glenn invited me to share in a family tradition that 3 generations before him have done.
Look at that. Well, Morgan, here we are. We're in the Cooper, having a Cooper, with a Cooper. Cheers. Good luck. How good is this?
Hey? How's the serenity?
Yeah. I love the serenity.
The Inaminka Hotel provides comfortable accommodation. But if you're a traveller that's looking to experience something different again, then let me introduce you to the Matthews family. After travelling and working their way around Australia for over a decade, Jeff, Julie and their 2 daughters...
Bally's 16, Miranda's 14.
Other way round.
It was close.
decided to call Inaminka home. What made you want to stop at Inaminka?
Well, I've seen most of the nice spots in Australia being overdone a bit. You take yourself back to Broome in 1976, where the Cable Beach Resort is. There were 2 tin sheds, one was a shower and one was a shit house. And there was 2 of us in the caravan park. That was it. Cable Beach to yourself. We go back there now, 7 caravan parks.
And shopping centres.
Shopping centres, boutiques, you know, all the other rubbish.
And that's what we don't want to happen to Inaminka.
Over the past 3 years, the family have built an excellent reputation by providing accommodation with a twist. This is a pretty unique place, obviously. Can you tell us what goes on in a homestay?
You stay in our home with us, as different to a bed and breakfast. You go for bed and breakfast, and they'll bring you a breakfast to you, give you the breakfast, and that's it. Well, here, you have breakfast, you have every meal with us. You don't sleep with us, but...
It's optional.
Yeah, well, I've had a few offers.
Not an option at all.
I think you've had a couple of offers, don't you? About that.
This really is a home away from home. and guests instantly become part of the family.
I think people like to feel part of the family, even, you know, teenagers chucking wobblies.
Oh, sure.
It's warts and all, you see us, you take us as we are.
We had the Australian manager from KPMG stay here. We didn't know he was the manager.
KPMG.
Yeah, didn't I say that?
No,
It was close. You know.
doesn't it?
So, I mean, he just wrote us a little handwritten letter to say that I'd traverse the world 300 days a year and stay in these posh motels. And basically, I've never felt more welcome when I stayed at Cooper Creek Homestay.
I'll always remember and appreciate the hospitality we were shown in Inaminka, and I'm beginning to understand the Outback philosophy.
I've a bit of an attitude problem, I say to people. Don't bring your big city attitude out here, because things are a lot slower out here, and leave that attitude and come out here and have a good time. People are very friendly out here, and it's not just the business, you go talk to the customers, where in the city it's just serve, serve, serve.
Lucy has worked as a camp cook on surrounding stations and now helps Des and Ali run the pub. He, like most locals, understands that you can get away with things in the bush that you just couldn't in a big city.
I screwed up last night. I left 3 bar stools down, 1 chair, and I forgot to close the front door of the pub.
So what happened?
I got to serve. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I screwed up.
What are the highlights of running a pub like this?
Oh, you don't have any pollution, no worries like that. Everyone's friendly. You can leave your door, well, as you can tell from the other night, you can leave your pub front doors open and nothing happens. So that's all a bonus. The people that you meet, and just being able to make someone's trip worthwhile coming here. They have an expectation, and to be able to exceed that and have them surprised at the quality of the food or just the people behind the bar, that's always a bonus.
But it's a lifestyle that not everyone is comfortable with. How do you go about finding staff to work in a pub as isolated as this?
Just put an ad in the paper and hope for the best. You paint them a big black picture of what to expect, because it's a hell of a long way to come and them find that it's not really what they want.
And have any of them arrived and thought, oh my God, what have I got myself in for?
We've employed people here that within a week ran away, just took off in the middle of the day, packed it and left.
Inaminka may be isolated and remote, but for a small town it has some amazing attractions. The Cooper Creek and the special habitat that it supports, one of the most hospitable and interesting forms of country accommodation, and of course, the Inaminka Hotel. Do you find it's a little bit of a social hub for the community?
Yeah, oh definitely. It's the only pub in town.
Yeah, only pub in town for a while.
And if
too.
they don't like the beer and they don't like the prices, well, they can go somewhere else.
Well, they can't.
No.
After the break, we soak up the atmosphere and the Outback's answer to a health spa.
Where could you find this in Sydney? You could not find it.
I've got to agree with you, Glenn.
It's the only planet, isn't it?